You know, arguing about musical subgenres with random people on the internet is a lot like arguing about which edition of D&D is better. You're both screaming about esoteric rules that nobody outside of your basement really cares about, and in the end, you're just playing make-believe with your friends. Welcome, nerds, to the Clips channel. If you are new here, then let me welcome you to the Clips. This is a smaller portion of a much larger video that happens over on the main channel. It's a series I like to call The Week in Nerddom. This right here is the music section. We are going to be talking about music-related things, tours, new music, reacting to videos, just regular news in the music news section, all of the things. Super excited to have you here. Let's get into the news. So, music, follow-ups, and corrections. First up, we have the Sex Pistols with Frank Carter. That tour that we talked about previously has officially been canceled. Apparently, after Steve Jones broke his wrist, apparently 50 years of playing 3 chords really, really fast finally took its toll. Static X, Tony Campos, bass player from Static X, has said that the band has been talking about potentially writing some new material, which is the musical equivalent of saying you'll start your diet on Monday. And then, as promised, in today's episode of As the Filth Turns, we have updates from the Cradle of Filth debacle. We're not going to get into details, but it's very interesting. Since we last spoke, not only has Danny Filth made, I believe it's 2 more announcements, but we also have heard at least once from Zoe, who is the original member, fired, and quit, I don't remember, and at least 3 times from Ashok, her husband, who was the guitar player in Cradle of Filth until he also was fired. The back and forth is getting really messy, and kind of what it boils down to is, nah, you're wrong, nah, you're wrong, nah, you're wrong. And then in a much more serious follow-up, we have a piece from Atlanta when we got the memorial for Brent Hines, Mastodon's former guitar player, like we covered previously and as everywhere in the news world has covered, who passed away tragically a couple weeks ago in a motorcycling accident. It's awesome to see the impact he had on the city of Atlanta, and it's really awesome to see that even though they were not on the best of terms when he passed, his brothers in Mastodon still showed up and paid their respects for Brent. So pretty awesome. If you can go find video of that, absolutely do that. And that we had to follow up on that because it was too beautiful not to. Brings us into new music and videos. So for those of you needing something heavy to blast today, we have 2 brand new videos that are out this morning, September 3rd. One is from Orbit Culture with their new song Nerve, and then we have a really bizarre team up with the dudes in Lord of the Lost, whom we talk about quite frequently on this channel, and then I'm not going to say this name right, KÄÄRIJÄ. Their track together is called Raveyard, both premiering today, so as you're watching this, hopefully it was earlier today. Slipknot has finally unearthed a little bit of that new music that we've been promised from the 25th anniversary edition of their debut album, the one with the serial number as the title that I'm not going to go into all the way, that everybody just calls their self-titled because it's easier. But we have It's Me Inside is the demo that we got. This is honestly freaking awesome. The digital version of the 25th anniversary collection, so all those 9 vinyls that they released previously, will be out September 5th on Roadrunner Records, for when you want to be really, really angry, but historically angry. And then the big news this week, probably the biggest news in music, at least for me, the thing that has everybody pulling their Jenkos out of storage is that Mudvayne has released a new track called Hurt People, Hurt People. This is their first new track in 16 years, so after all of those reunion shows and the tours and everything else, it seems that those creative juices really were flowing behind the scenes. The track absolutely is a sledgehammer of Mudvayne branded aggression, proving that even after all of this time, Chad Gray can still scream his balls off. Though it should be noted, Ryan Martini's bass sounds much less like a transmission from another planet than I would have liked. Either way, welcome back, gentlemen. Don't be strangers, please. And not to be outdone, Avatar have announced that they're releasing their new record, Don't Go Into the Forest. And they shared a third video from this new record called Tonight We Must Be Warriors, proving once again that they honestly must have some sort of stock in a face paint company or something. And finally, for the new music stuff, we have Amy Lee, Courtney LaPlante, and Poppy teasing a new single called End of You. This definitely sounds like the lineup for the world's most emotionally devastating supergroup. So, are you enjoying this little nugget of nerd news? Well, this is honestly just the little appetizer. This is just a taste of things. The full 4-course meal of nerd rage and news information is actually over on the main channel, Generally Nerdy. So go over there to get the full story. But before you do, don't forget to, hit the subscribe button here, because these are the bite-sized chunks, and maybe the like button if you legitimately like what's going on, and just be sure to spread the word. Now that you've done those things, go off and hit that main course, because I know you're hungry for more nerd news. Now let's talk about tours and festivals this week. Looking way ahead, Sonic Temple for 2026 have dropped the names of the first 6 bands on the bill. Probably a couple of these are headliners, I would venture. But we have Chelsea Grin, Paleface Swiss, Lorna Shore, Attila, Brand of Sacrifice, and Disembodied Tyrant. The festival takes place May 14th through 17th, again in 2026. This right here is proof, they're announcing this so early that it's never too early to start investing in your festival-induced bankruptcy. TSO, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, have announced their 2025 North American tour, so get ready for your dad to get way too excited for lasers and electric violins. And then in Blast from the Past metal news, we have Darkest Hour, Bleeding Through, God Forbid, and Nora doing a handful of shows in mid-December. You can find the link down in the description to see where those shows are. My bet is probably a VFW hall somewhere in New Jersey. And regular ass news for the music section, we have the Seattle Museum of Pop Culture closing their Nirvana exhibit. The Nirvana Taking Punk to the Masses exhibit, presumably to make room for an exhibit that is showing people how to sell t-shirts for $500 or something. And in what is apparently becoming something of a daily occurrence in the metal community, we have yet another messy band breakup. This time it's Jesus Piece, and their guitar player and vocalist are definitely airing their dirty laundry in public forums, exclusively for our grim amusement, but then somehow there's a new band that the vocalist has started that's also being called Jesus Piece, but a $sign is involved, which makes it different, I guess? Which then rounds us out to suggestions for the week. If you're looking for something that perfectly captures a moment in time, then you owe it to yourself to go listen to Days of the New Yellow album. We've talked about this in suggestions previously. It is the undisputed king of acoustic-driven post-grunge music. I know that's rather specific, but it's really awesome to get there. The musicianship is absolutely incredible. The songwriting is nothing short of haunting, and it has a very unique and dark vibe that really hasn't ever been replicated since, not even by the band. It is an absolute necessity, essential piece of 90s history, and it's your suggestion for the week. Go check it out. All right, nerds, it is time to stop drinking that canned chemical sludge and get yourself a little bit of DUBBY. You can upgrade your energy fuel today by going to dubby.gg and finding whatever it is that you want from there. No sugar, no jitters, no crash. Just clean, focused energy so you can get all those no-scope headshots. The s'mores flavor, which is what I'm drinking right now inside of my lovely DUBBY labeled can. Ignore the other stickers around it. S'mores flavor is dangerously good. Like, dangerously good. So go hit up dubby.gg, again, dubby.gg, and use code GenerallyNerdy at checkout for 10% off your entire cart. Now let's dive back into the video, shall we? Thank you very much, nerds, for tuning in. If you want to level up your nerdy, geeky, pop culture knowledge, then don't forget to subscribe and do all of the things. Go check out the main channel, Generally Nerdy, for the larger portion. Again, you get all of the sections into one convenient video over on Generally Nerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. Thank you for checking out this clip. We will see you next time. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.